The movie begins by showing a young woman, Jiyoung, about to sleep in her room after reading a message from her ex-boyfriend who wants to get back to her. Jiyoung was a very individualistic, introverted woman and often avoided social interaction with other people. Since graduating from college, she has lived alone in an apartment and worked in a hospital as a nurse. That night, her neighbor, Byok-soo, came to Jiyoung's room to ask for the Wi-Fi password. In contrast to her, Byok-soo was an extroverted young man with a warm personality and was good at getting along with others. He had a girlfriend named Ye-jin who lived with him, but their relationship has been strained and not harmonious lately. Feeling annoyed with Byok-soo, Jiyoung immediately turned off the phone and returned to bed to continue her delayed sleep. She tried to go to bed early but still had trouble sleeping due to severe insomnia she had suffered since she was a teenager. Jiyoung often visited a psychiatrist to overcome her insomnia for consultation and hypnotherapy. Over the past few weeks, she had been seeing a psychiatrist, Jung So-kyung, regularly to consult her problems. Psychiatrist Jung ordered Jiyoung to always be active and keep a daily journal to find the source of the problem or trauma that was bothering her mind. Every day, as a neighbor who lived in the same apartment, Byok-soo tried to be friendly and greet Jiyoung, but she always ignored him and never even responded to his greeting. One day, Byok-soo asked a courier to leave a package with her, but she didn't care about it and left the package at the door. That night, when Byok-soo was about to take the package, Jiyoung said that she had placed the package in front of his door. As a result, when Byok-soo told his girlfriend that the package had disappeared, Ye-jin was immediately furious with Byok-soo. In the end, Ye-jin, fed up with the conflict between Jiyoung and Byok-soo, decides to end the relationship and leave Byok-soo. Jiyoung got into a problem different from Byok-soo's. Her ex-boyfriend, Yoon-suk, kept persuading her to get back into a relationship, but she refused. Both Byok-soo and Yoon-suk kept begging their respective girlfriends to get back, causing a commotion in the apartment. Starting to feel uncomfortable with their boyfriend's behavior, Jiyoung and Ye-jin took them to the police station. The police ended up detaining Byok-soo for one day, while Yoon-suk got a warning to never harass Jiyoung again. The following day, Jiyoung called the apartment locksmith to reset her key password so Yoon-suk could not barge in. Not long after, Byok-soo, who was out of prison, came to Jiyoung with feelings of annoyance because he thought she was the cause of his breakup with his girlfriend. But Jiyoung again didn't care and chose to leave him. At night, Byok-soo, who felt heartbroken and lost, drank a lot to forget his problem. He even entertained himself by watching a movie in the cinema, but it didn't work because it made him remember everything. Byok-soo felt lonely and unable to live alone. He tried to forgive Jiyoung and get closer to her. Unfortunately, he found it difficult to approach her. Jiyoung was very individualistic and didn't want to mingle with others. But one night, when Byok-soo was watching a movie at the cinema, he accidentally met Jiyoung in the same row of seats. Feeling afraid of the horrific scene, Byok-soo slowly began to approach Jiyoung and subconsciously sat beside her. Jiyoung felt uncomfortable and tried to avoid him, but she finally gave up because he kept coming to her. She was increasingly irritated by Byok-soo, who secretly drank her soda. On the way back to the apartment, Byok-soo followed Jiyoung again and tried to talk to her. However, she kept avoiding and ignoring him. Byok-soo was confused by Jiyoung, who was always cold to him. Upon arriving at the apartment elevator, Byok-soo realized that he had drunk soda from the same straw as Jiyoung and immediately assumed they had kissed indirectly. He thought that the kiss was what made her annoyed with him. Jiyoung denied it and said that she would only think of the kiss as kissing an animal. Those words clearly made Byok-soo even more annoyed with her. They then started arguing again before entering their rooms. They were still arguing and banging on the walls to vent their anger. The following day, Jiyoung saw psychiatrist Jung again to submit the daily journal she had been writing for the past week. After reading the diary, psychiatrist Jung realized that Jiyoung was still hiding something about her past and trauma. She then asked Jiyoung to learn to be honest with herself because a psychiatrist could not help if their patients were still hiding something about their problems. That afternoon, when Jiyoung came home from the hospital, her stomach suddenly felt queasy, so she dashed to her apartment. However, in front of the apartment, Yoon-suk again begged her to continue their relationship. While holding her stomach, Jiyoung tried to avoid him, but he kept following her. Jiyoung then accidentally fell and farted before him. She felt embarrassed and immediately ran into the apartment and rushed to her room. Unfortunately, Jiyoung suddenly forgot her door password, forcing her to enter Byok-soo's apartment. She, by chance, had seen his door password. Byok-soo, who was in the apartment, heard the sound of an intruder entering his bathroom. He immediately took a racket and broke down the bathroom door to catch the intruder. He accidentally saw Jiyoung in his bathroom. Seeing Byok-soo, Jiyoung screamed and closed the bathroom door. Byok-soo, who initially panicked, started laughing when he discovered that Jiyoung had a minor accident in her pants. He started mocking her while laughing with satisfaction. Jiyoung could only remain silent while holding back the great embarrassment. Byok-soo then called the apartment locksmith to open Jiyoung's door to get clean pants for her. Before he entered the room, Jiyoung had warned him not to open her things. However, after he took the pants, he opened Jiyoung's cell phone even though he had been warned not to do that. After the embarrassing incident, Jiyoung could only curse herself for feeling so ashamed. Byok-soo just smiled, amused every time he remembered it. The following day, Byok-soo visited his parent. His mother had prepared a stock of kimchi and other food for him, while his younger sister asked for some pocket money. There, his mother invited him to go on holiday on Christmas Day. He happily accepted the invitation. One day, Jiyoung went to the tenant's office and planned to move to another apartment because her neighbor was too noisy. However, the manager said that Byok-soo was also planning to move because he could not afford to pay the rent. Knowing this, Jiyoung canceled her intention to move, considering that her goal of moving was to get away from Byok-soo. That afternoon when Jiyoung was about to go to the supermarket, Byok-soo accidentally saw her. He then followed her shopping at the supermarket. He tried hard to be friendly to Jiyoung and invited her to spend time together on Christmas. Byok-soo seemed to have forgotten that he had an appointment with his family on Christmas Day. Then, Jiyoung realized that Byok-soo had been peeking at her things without permission. She was angry and immediately scolded him. She even said hurtful words and offered some money to him while asking him not to come near her again. Seeing her outrageous attitude, Byok-soo felt hurt and chose to leave her. Unfortunately, not long after that, Byok-soo got news from his mother that they had canceled their vacation invitation because his sister didn't want him to come with them. While holding back tears, Byok-soo could remain silent and not say anything. He realized that he was just an adopted son, so it was natural that they behaved that way. When Christmas Day arrived, Byok-soo spent his time in his room. He watched movies on his laptop while eating some snacks. He looked at his cell phone sometime and checked messages, and no one called or asked him to go out. It was later revealed that although Byok-soo has a friendly personality, not many people like him, and they actually take advantage of him more. On the other hand, Jiyoung had also gotten used to spending Christmas Eve alone in her room for the past few years. That night, Jiyoung felt a little surprised because there was a sound behind the wall of Byok-soo's room. She thought that on that day, Byok-soo would go on vacation with his family. She then turned on her favorite music, put on earplugs, and took sleeping pills to sleep well. Since she forgot that the dose of her sleeping pills had increased, she took 2 pills instead, so she started having hallucinations. She saw a kitten on her stomach, and she tried to pet the kitten, but her hands went limp and fell on the stereo remote. She accidentally turned up the music volume. Byok-soo, who was in the next room, started to get distracted because the music was too loud. He knocked on Jiyoung's door and asked her to turn down her music. Since there was no response, Byok-soo worried that something had happened to Jiyoung. He was panicking and tried to enter the room using the initial password. Fortunately, Jiyoung had not changed the password so he could open the door. Meanwhile, Jiyoung, still unconscious, had a strange dream where she returned to the past when she was 7 years old. It was Christmas Day, when every child should feel happy gathering with their families. But little Jiyoung couldn't feel that happiness because her parents were too busy fighting. Little Jiyoung then approached her mother and asked about the kitten she had asked for from Santa Claus. But her mother scolded her and said that Santa wasn't real. Since then, Jiyoung has never liked Christmas Eve and has grown into a girl who is very closed off from others. Even one night, when she saw her father having an affair with another woman, she didn't seem to care about it and ignored him. Every time she came home from school, Jiyoung had to witness her parents fight. They were getting increasingly disharmonious. One day, her father and mother argued about who would care for her because they didn't want to take responsibility. Since then, Jiyoung has decided to live alone without her parents. The only thing that made her happy was the stray cat she found on the street. Since Jiyoung left her parents, she had always thought that asking for mercy only showed her weakness in front of other people. Therefore, she always acted cold and pretended to be tough to avoid being pitied by others. When Jiyoung woke up from fainting, she saw Byok-soo in her room and panicked while calling an ambulance. She asked him what he was doing in her room. Byok-soo immediately hung up his phone while breathing a sigh of relief, knowing that Jiyoung was fine. Worried about Jiyoung's condition, Byok-soo scolded her for not changing the door password and didn't link her apartment's keychain. Seeing the attention shown by Byok-soo, Jiyoung apologized for hating him for no apparent reason. It was then that Byok-soo realized that even though Jiyoung often acted cold and aloof, she actually had a soft heart and was understanding to others. Byok-soo then opened up about his family and his adoption status to Jiyoung and told her that he also often felt alone like her. Hearing his story, Jiyoung realizes that they both have almost the same fate where their parents abandoned them. After that, Jiyoung awkwardly asked Byok-soo to sleep beside her and spend Christmas Eve together. At first, Byok-soo still didn't understand, so he intended to return to his room. But then he was shocked after realizing what she meant. He again asked Jiyoung if she really wanted to sleep with him. After spending the night together, Jiyoung immediately threw Byok-soo away. He could only smile in amusement at her ridiculous behavior. The following day when Jiyoung was about to go to work, she accidentally met Byok-soo in front of the elevator. She saw the couple's ring that Byok-soo was wearing. Jiyoung, who started liking him, became annoyed and jealous at Byok-soo still wearing his ex-girlfriend's ring. She then told him that what happened last night was just a momentary relationship, and she asked him not to get too close to her. Feeling confused by Jiyoung's wishy-washy attitude, Byok-soo shared this with his co-workers at the office. His friends instantly realized that the cause of Jiyoung's irritation was that his ex's ring was still on his finger. Byok-soo felt relieved and smiled happily after knowing that Jiyoung was acting this way because she was jealous. On the other hand, Jiyoung continued to be haunted by the image of Byok-soo showing off his couple's ring. While working at the hospital, she kept imagining Byok-soo's presence mocking her, which really disturbed her mind. At night after the work shift ended, Jiyoung followed Byok-soo's advice to get along with the other nurse colleagues. Since then, she got close to a nurse named Park and learned to mingle with the people around her. In the evening, when Jiyoung was going to return to the apartment, she was again made jealous by Byok-soo's closeness to his female friend. It turned out that Byok-soo deliberately asked the woman for help to pretend to be his close friend to find out Jiyoung's true heart. A few days later, Byok-soo moved out of his apartment, pretended to be indifferent to her, and left without saying goodbye. Byok-soo's sudden departure made Jiyoung feel very sad and lost because he had made her life more colorful over the past few days. At that moment, Byok-soo came to Jiyoung's apartment and pretended he didn't have a place to live. He reasoned that his apartment was still being renovated. Jiyoung was excited him, but she hid her feeling and pretended to be indifferent in front of Byok-soo. Initially, Jiyoung refused to accommodate Byok-soo, but seeing his pitiful face, she changed her mind and allowed him to stay there for some time. She said she worked the night shift so he could use her nighttime apartment to rest. Byok-soo happily accepted the offer so he could always meet Jiyoung. As time passed, the relationship between Jiyoung and Byok-soo became closer. They began to accept each other. Jiyoung was relieved that living with other people was not as bad as she had imagined. She even started to be friendly to Byok-soo and occasionally invited him to go out for dinner. One day when they were shopping, Byok-soo got into trouble by wearing his ex's ring. Jiyoung, who felt annoyed, immediately took the ring and threw it on the floor before she finally left Byok-soo. Instead of being angry with her attitude, Byok-soo was happy and increasingly convinced that she liked him. That night, Byok-soo immediately chased Jiyoung and dared to confess his feelings to her. But strangely, she rejected him because she was still unsure if he loved her. Byok-soo reassured her by showing his sincerity. But Jiyoung was still afraid that her attitude would hurt him in the future. Byok-soo didn't care about that and said that she didn't need to change because he would try to understand her. Hearing Byok-soo's sincerity, Jiyoung decided to give him a chance and accept him as her boyfriend. Since that day, Byok-soo and Jiyoung started living their daily lives as a couple and learned to understand each other. Jiyoung began to forget the wounds and trauma she experienced and thought she could find new happiness with Byok-soo. One day, Byok-soo accidentally found Jiyoung's diary and decided to read it without her knowledge. It was then that he found out that Jiyoung had to grow alone all this time and was deeply saddened by the wounds she experienced in the past. Byok-soo then met Jung's psychiatrist. He wanted to know about Jiyoung's condition and consulted on how to help her recover from the trauma. After returning from the consultation, Byok-soo told Jiyoung that he would always be by her side and protect her forever. He was hoping she could open up about the old wounds and be willing to share any trouble she went through. The following day, Jiyoung's mother suddenly came to see her, and apparently, Jiyoung was still unable to forgive her. Her mother could say anything. Jiyoung angrily said she had already paid for all the living expenses her mother gave her in the past. She thought that was enough to end their relationship. Over the years, her mother often asked Jiyoung for money, and she was forced to give it, hoping she could release her bond with her mother. But that day, her mother did not come to ask for money but told Jiyoung that her father was sick. Byok-soo, who knew about this, mediated their quarrel and persuaded Jiyoung to visit her parents. Unfortunately, Jiyoung didn't take the suggestion well because she still couldn't reinstate her parents who had abandoned her for years. Byok-soo didn't give up and kept persuading Jiyoung to forgive her parents and started learning to forget her past. It was not an easy thing for Jiyoung. She was angry with Byok-soo and kicked him out of her apartment. Byok-soo then left Jiyoung, feeling disappointed because she still hadn't opened up to him and didn't want to let him help. Since Byok-soo left, Jiyoung deleted all the memorable pictures from her cell phone, and even deleted Byok-soo's contact. She returned to being the old Jiyoung, where she was always cold and indifferent to the people around her. She continued to live that way until one day, a patient she treated at the hospital awakened her. The young girl she was taking care of said she didn't deserve to live because no one cared for her. These words then made Jiyoung feel very sad. She was afraid that the same thing would happen to her. Jiyoung immediately turned around and burst into tears, lamenting that she had kicked Byok-soo out, the only person who truly cared about her. She then ran to the locker room and called Byok-soo. She couldn't remember Byok-soo's phone number, so she just cried. Nurse Park, who knew Jiyoung was crying in the locker room, approached and calmed her down with a warm hug. The following day, Jiyoung went to see psychiatrist Yeong and told her about all the past wounds she had been hiding alone. She shared that her parents had never been there for her all this time, and she only pretended to be tough in front of other people to cover up her sadness. She also revealed that she could feel happiness for the first time with Byok-soo. He was an important person who made her life more beautiful. A few days later, Jiyoung visited her father's grave. He died some time ago. Jiyoung learned to be open with the world around her and tried to forgive her mother, even though it all took a long time. Jiyoung gave psychiatrist Jeong a gift for all the help that she had given her. Psychiatrist Jeong then said that Jiyoung should give the gift to someone who had just come to her office and asked how she was. Hearing this, Jiyoung immediately realized that the person was Byok-soo. She instantly ran outside the building to find him. When Jiyoung saw Byok-soo board the train from a distance, she rushed to the train, but she fell to the floor and started to lose hope of being able to meet him again. Not long after, she heard someone calling her, and when she turned around, it was Byok-soo. The film ends with a happy ending where Jiyoung and Byok-soo reunite and live happily. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that being alone and avoiding people might protect us from hurt and pain. However, being alone will also keep us away from affection and love.